Daisy, the daughter of Mal and Ben, just discovered that her father got kidnapped. What is the reason? And most importantly, who is the kidnapper? Welcome back, Villain Nation! If you're new to our channel, please remember to subscribe and turn the notifications on so you won't miss out on any of our Descendants videos. What do you mean he's been kidnapped? Daisy asked, shaking her head. By who? Daisy's heart dropped to the pit of her stomach as she ruminated in her thoughts. After her parents bridged Aradan and the Isle of the Lost, their citizens had become happier. Many of the villain kids and their parents turned over a new leaf and began changing their ways. None of them would go out of their way to kidnap Ben, would they? She couldn't believe what she heard. It just didn't make sense. As Daisy asked her question, Mal smacked her lips, shaking her head. This was familiar to Daisy. She knew that her mom was hiding something from her, but she'd only seen it when she was hiding something small like the cookies in the jar or the spell book for her own good. She never went out of her way to hide something as big as this. Why is she doing this now? I don't think you should know this information, Mal said. It could be dangerous for you. Fine, Daisy said seriously. What are we going to do? We aren't going to do anything, Mal said sternly with a raised brow. I'm going to go find him. I want to go too, Daisy demanded. I could help you. Daisy, no. You could get hurt, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself if you did, her mom said. What I say is final. Rather than argue, Daisy stayed shut and nodded, only half listening to what her mom was telling her. She heard snippets here and there about how she was going to have bodyguards from now on until they found out who kidnapped King Ben. Until then, she was going to have glorified babysitters. They were never going to leave her side. But Daisy had other plans. She refused to sit back and watch as her kingdom and family were being torn apart by this mysterious person. And if her mom thought she was going to hide away, she was wrong. Once Mal was satisfied, she walked Daisy to her room in the academy. In front of the doors stood two guards, Harry, Hook, and Gil. Back in the day, they were her mom's enemies, but now they were her trusted friends. Please keep her safe, Mal said to Harry. I'm trusting you. Of course, Harry Hook said, his accent thick as he spoke. Before Mal left, she placed a big kiss on her forehead and whispered an I love you in her ear. When she left and Daisy was all alone in her room, she prepared herself. Changing out of her long dress, she put on a jumpsuit that was similar to her mom's clothing and packed her spellbook. Here goes nothing, she whispered to herself before climbing out of the window and onto the ground floor. Since the school was empty and deserted, she knew that she would be okay. There would be no one to see her, which meant she couldn't get caught yet. As she ran down the hallway, she found her mom, Evie, Carlos, and Jay hanging around together. It was what Daisy expected. If there was a mission, her mom and friends would be the first to do this together. Daisy made sure to stay hidden in the shadows, watching them carefully, and made sure they couldn't get out of her sight. Then she heard her mom's voice speak. Wait, there's someone following us. Her mom was too good. Stepping out of the shadows, she said, Hi, Mom. Mal smiled, shaking her head at her daughter. Evie laughed and said, She is related to you, huh? Sorry, Mom, Daisy said, but I just can't sit back here and not help. She thought that her mom would be upset or angry at her for betraying her trust and disobeying orders, but instead Mal laughed and said, I should have known. It's what I would have done at your age, too. Does that mean I can help you? Daisy asked hopefully. Mal crossed her arms over her chest, shaking her head. Daisy could tell that she was about to say no before Carlos stepped in and said, She's just going to sneak out again. This way you can at least keep an eye on her and be sure she won't get into trouble. Fine, Mal said. Her eyes glowed green, which happened when she was being serious. This meant no games were going to be tolerated from Daisy. But you do as I say, and you stick close to me. Am I understood? Yes, Daisy said, her voice serious. On the surface, she was serious, But deep down, she was ecstatic that she was going to be going on a big mission. She wanted to jump with joy and giggle. But if she did, she was afraid she'd make her mom angry. When Mal turned back, Jay whispered to her, "Welcome to the team, kid." "Thanks, Uncle Jay." "Okay, here's the plan," Mal said. "Evie, Carlos, and Jay, you guys stay here in Aradon and run the council. I hope that the whole place isn't up in flames when I get back. Daisy and I are going to the Isle of the Lost and have a chat with a few suspects, okay?" Everyone nodded. Their faces were serious as they turned on their heels and did what Mal told them to do. Mal had brought out her motorcycle and told Daisy to get on. She held on tightly to her mom's waist as she sped off down the bridge to the Isle of the Lost. As they got closer to the island, she saw that it was full of bustling business. Based on the stories her mother told her, Daisy knew that this wasn't the place to fool around, even if the place had grown and become better. There were still people who acted naughty here. She had to be careful or someone might steal her belongings. Mal could only protect her for so long. "Come with me," Mal said, as she went down the buildings and into the Lady Tremaine salon. "We're going to visit Dizzy." Dizzy was a good friend of her mom's, and she had done Daisy's hair and makeup since she was younger. Nobody could do it like how Dizzy could. When they got up into the store, the salon was full of crazy and bright colors as a short girl stood in the middle of the room. Mal smiled and said, "Dizzy!" The girl looked up from the sketchbook and smiled. She said, "Mal, I wasn't expecting you so soon. I thought we agreed you needed a touch-up in 2 weeks." "Sadly, this isn't about my hair," Mal said, her smile vanishing from her face. She looked around before whispering, "My husband's been kidnapped. I was hoping you'd have heard about something." "Not again," Dizzy said, shaking her head. "No, I haven't heard of anything. Everything here has been pretty good, and nobody's been behaving badly." "That's what I thought," Mal said, her hands on her hips. "Do you have any ideas?" Daisy asked, finally speaking up. This was her time to shine and help her mom. She knew that she could do a good job. "Oh, Daisy, your purple hair is looking so good." "And no, I have no idea," Dizzy said as she smiled at her. Then she became serious and looked at Mal. "Maybe you should talk to Maleficent." "I guess it's time for a family reunion," Mal said. I'm Lady Blah Blah, and as always, thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this story, feel free to check out another one. And don't forget to put a like, subscribe, and share this video with your villain friends.